Zareth, the way to motivate people in general and the way to motivate yourself is to have a reason why. The reason you won't be able to, motivate any employees is because you're not giving them a reason why. A reason why to work, a reason why to wake up in the morning to be with you, a reason why to do anything in general. It all starts with a reason why. So, what I would do if I were you, and again, as I said, I'll be noting things down because I'm going to give you an action step at the end of my point of view, right? What I would do is understand what they're doing, and obviously you know what they're doing, right? Understand how that's linked to, your company or to their job in general, and then link that to what they want. Link that to a desire. And then once you've done that, what you've done is given them a reason why. Does that make sense? So I can see you typing now. Go ahead and type anything you want to say. But when you give someone a reason why, which people make it really, really complicated to find a reason why. You understand your why, but understand what you want. When you look at what you want, you can kind of understand why you want it in the first place. I can break that down a little more. But if you've got any questions, Araf, please type it in. Otherwise, that's how you motivate your employees. You understand them. You understand why they're at your company. You understand what they can do for your company. So understanding. And then you link what they want to why they're at your company. And then from there, you can kind of go forward and motivate them. Right? So if you had a salesperson, okay, I'll get to that really quickly, TRD. Very good question. Very, very good question. My students are always struggling with that, but then once you give them like little hacks, I'll break it down in 3 steps, by the way, TRD, but once you break it into little hacks, it becomes quite simple. But as I was saying, if you've got a salesperson, Zaref, then that person, what they do at your company, they're increasing the amount of people you have. They're increasing the number of clients you have. Why is that important to them? Well, the sales position itself gives you endless commissions. So maybe they're looking to increase the amount of commissions they have. Maybe they're looking to increase their money to feed their family, whatever, right? To go to a trip abroad, etc. So you motivate them by understanding their reasons and what they want. Okay? So your action step would be to understand why you've hired people, what their job is. You need to understand what they want and then link what they're doing to what they want. Zaref, okay? That's how you motivate people. Why are they here? What do they want? How can I link those 2 things together? That's simple. Okay, TRD. How to deal with procrastination. If you don't mind specifically telling me what it is like you're procrastinating for, because if it's work, then I'll go down that route. If it's other stuff, then let me know as well. So really quickly, just let me know if it's like work or what it exactly is that you're procrastinating. Work, homework, okay. Okay, so there's 3 ways of looking at procrastination, as I was saying. Number 1, you have to look at it this way. What are you doing instead of the work? What you're doing instead of the work. A lot of the times we find ourselves procrastinating by going on social media, doing stuff like that in the sense that it's like, small things that give us dopamine, basically. And for that, you have to understand, does the work motivate you? Am I procrastinating from doing the work because it doesn't motivate me, because there's no reward at the end of it? So what I would do in that case, very simply, TRD, is give yourself a reward. Maybe you hate homework. Maybe there's no reason for you to do the homework. Well, guess what? If you reward yourself with the small thing, I don't know, let's say you genuinely love spending time with your family. After you do homework, go and talk to your mum for 10, 15 minutes, right? The big thing to do with procrastination for one case is the fact that you have no reward when you do the hard work. Number 2, and this is more of like a Andrew Tate style, procrastination is simply you sabotaging yourself. So do you continue being who you are, or do you upgrade yourself and be a new person? Do you continue being a pussy that doesn't get the work done, or do you become the alpha, the Chad that you want to be that does get the work done and doesn't care how they feel? So point is, your current emotions are going to be something that's holding you back. And those current emotions, and this I'm going to be writing something down for you, TRD, to move forward, is fear. What are you fearing? What are you fearing? What are you scared of doing? I know it sounds weird to make it sound like it's something that you're scared of, but what are you fearing? Are you fearing rejection? Maybe the work that you're doing might have you like being in confrontation with someone. Are you fearing that you might fail? Are you like long term wise, you think the work you're doing is useless because you might fail? Or are you simply fearing that your goal is too big, that the work you're doing is too big for you? If it's fear based, you have to realize, TRD, you're the one holding yourself back in this case. Maybe instead of looking at it from a fear perspective, you start looking at it through faith. Faith is the opposite of fear, brother. If you can move in faith, you get rid of all the fear. And then everything becomes easy. You don't even think of procrastinating anymore because you know you're at your goal. You know things are easy. You know you won't fail. You know that if you get rejected, you'll just get back up. Procrastination, one, as I said, can come from the fact that you don't reward yourself, or two, it can come from fear. Okay? And then number three, last but not least, TRD, is I'd always give myself a choice. You always have a choice, brother. The only thing you can control is your mind. You have no control of your outside circumstances. Your outside circumstances come from what is inside your mind. So it all starts from within. From what we create within, we create without. And to you guys, that might sound a bit wishy-washy, but realize all your success comes because you believe that you'd be successful. And all your failures come from the fact that you believed you would fail at that thing. So TRDs, you always have a choice. And I always link these choices to either failure or success. And here's the thing. I personally, I do Muay Thai, so I'm a fighter. And I've got fights coming up, etc. And for a week, I didn't do any of my runs. Right, I procrastinated from doing my runs. I was like, no, look, work is more important. I'm just going to focus on my work. I'm going to, do the YouTube videos. I'm going to do the outreach, etc., etc. And then it came to sparring just before my fight, and I got beaten the shit out of. I was generally on the floor. I had a black eye right after the what I've done, and it's honestly, I linked it from then on. That if I procrastinate and don't do my run, I will end back on the floor with a black eye and lose my fight. So for you, your choice is, TRD, I get the work done and I succeed, or I don't get the work done and I fail. And then if you're happy with failing, then that's something deeper that you're going to have to look into. But that's the way I'd break it down last of all. So choice, fail, or success. So TRD, just one more thing really quickly to make it actionable for you. Just that way you can go after this call and do something to move forward rather than just listening to information and not doing anything. First of all, reward yourself for the hard work you're doing, brother. All of you guys that are in this call, reward yourself for the hard work. Because you create positive cycles if you do that, right? You're not being a little bitch by rewarding yourself. You're actually improving your mental health and you're increasing your productivity by rewarding yourself. Number two, you want to understand, are you procrastinating because you're scared of something? And if you are, try and understand what it is. And then stop it. Stop being scared and move in faith. Believe you can succeed. Believe you won't get rejected. And if you do, you'll just get back up. Believe that if your product, you guys doing e-commerce, believe that if your product doesn't do well, you'll find another one. That your copy will convert. And then finally, give yourself the choice. Am I deciding to fail or am I deciding to succeed by what I'm doing right now? And that's what I would do, brother. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any more questions on that. Otherwise, just pop me like a thumbs up or something in the chat to know that it's all good. So obviously, Zanaf has got a marketing question. I won't go into that necessarily. Gibson and Zaref having a conversation. That's quite nice, to be fair. And then, awesome. Cool digital marketing questions. Guys, I mean, I used to have an agency, but I stopped it a while ago just because I didn't like it. But I'm going to focus on some of the questions that I have done through research or that the CEO Amin has done with me through research. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about more, then pop the questions in the chat. Negative thought patterns, if you guys are wondering why you've ever failed or not succeeded, your success in your life is based on your predominant moods. So your predominant moods are the emotions you feel most frequently. And if you guys reflect really quickly, honestly, just take 30 seconds. Just take 30 seconds. And if you guys aren't capable of doing this, then, I can challenge you a bit, but just take 30 seconds. Look at where you are in your life. you're on this Q&A call. What emotions did you feel most of the day? If you're in the UK, it's currently 4:10 for you. Maybe if you're in your New York Eastern time, it's currently 11 a.m. Reflect, what are most of the feelings that you've been having recently? The feelings you've been having over the last month have created the reality that you live in today. If those feelings are negative, then most of the, life that you've lived over the last couple of weeks has been negative. If they've been positive, you've made great progress in your business, your personal life, your relationships. Maybe you're positive about business, but you're negative about relationships, and you found yourself alone without many friends. Maybe it's the opposite. You're very happy with the relationships that you have. You're doing great with your family. Everything's going well. But you've had, negative feelings when it comes to your business. You have to understand, as I said, as the principle, the only thing you guys can control is your mind. And your mind is the most powerful tool because it creates everything for you. Whatever emotions you feel create your reality. You have to understand that whatever emotions you feel create your reality. So again, I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds. And if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat, what is the emotion that you guys have been feeling most? What is the emotion you guys have been feeling the most? Is it excitement? Is it, fear? Is it happiness? Just put in the chat really quickly so I know what direction to take this in. What emotions have you guys been feeling most of all? Happiness, stress. Okay, I'm going to note both those down. Happiness, stress. Empty. Okay. Empty. Keep them coming, guys. What emotion have you been feeling most of all? Recently, what's the emotion that's been dominating? Neutral. Okay. So neutral is in you're going back and forth. Okay. Neutral, going back and forth. Regret. And confused. Okay, so empty and confused from Zaraf. Okay. We'll do two more. Katie's got another one. And then I'll wait for maybe someone else, and then I'll go forward. So far, I know exactly what to tell you guys. And I want you to really listen and understand this principle, because this is one of the principles to success. You guys are here because you're entrepreneurs, because you want to make money, because you want to be free. If you want to be free, you have to feel free. You have to feel good. And I'm going to explain how to do that. Okay. TRD, Kaylee, go ahead. Actually, I've been feeling neutral, to be honest. Confusion 2, confusion, and neutral. Okay. Times 2, and then neutral. Okay. For the people that have been feeling neutral means you get neutral things. It means you get mediocre, normal things. You don't get anything exceptional. If someone was really happy, right? If someone was really positive, they get exceptionally positive things. If someone was really negative, they get exceptionally negative things. For those who are neutral, you get something in the middle. You get some good things, but then they're counteracted by bad things. You get some good things, but equally bad things, right? You're always in the middle. And look, you have to understand, you're the one that's allowed that to happen. This whole thing is down to you guys. When you have a problem within your business, it's a you problem. It's not a problem with the actual business. Business doesn't care about emotions. Business doesn't care. All it cares about is the market, right? That's all it cares about. You're the one that's messing up your business. You're the one that's messing up your life. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's because you're not controlling your mind and your thoughts. And I'm going to write this down for you guys so you guys can see it. Thoughts create emotions, and then emotions create actions. But also thoughts create actions directly. So this is what it looks like, all right? I hope you guys can see it. So thoughts create emotions. Those emotions often turn to actions, but thoughts always create actions, okay? If you're thinking neutral thoughts, oh, I'm capable of this, but I'm not capable of that. Today's been a quite good day. I had a good morning. Then the whole afternoon was just a bit meh. I feel a bit, all right, I was happy last weekend, but now I just feel a bit down. You being neutral, you being in the middle, you going back and forth, it's just going to give you, like I said, mediocre life. Like we always critique as entrepreneurs the people that live 9 to 5s, but do you want to be a mediocre entrepreneur? Ignore the 99%. We've beaten them already. Your goal is to start beating that 1% of entrepreneurs. Do you want that mediocre life? No. So here's what you do. Again, as I said, I'm going to make this actionable for you guys. Your thoughts are things you need to be aware of. So you guys need to start being aware of your thoughts. What that means is when the thought comes up, acknowledge it. Don't go with it straight away. Take a second to literally acknowledge what thought you're having. I'm thinking this isn't going great right now. Right? I'm thinking, let's say you're doing dropshipping. I'm thinking this copy that I've written for this store isn't very good. Okay, I've had a negative thought. Do I want this negative thought? No. Why am I having this negative thought? Is the copy actually bad? Let me go check with someone if the copy is actually bad. But I don't want this negative thought. I believe this copy is good. The more thoughts you have that are positive, the more positive emotions you'll feel, and the more positive actions you'll make, and the more positive outcomes you'll create. So the principle stands: control your mind and control your thoughts, and you'll control your reality. So for those of you that have been feeling neutral, be aware of your thoughts. And when you have the positive thoughts, amplify them, make them bigger, make them greater. And if you have the negative thoughts, accept them. And then tell yourself you don't want them. Go back to the positive thought. Do the opposite of the negative thought. My copy is bad. Now my copy is good. And I'm going to go check how good it is. I'm going to post this store. I don't care. I'm going to post this store. I know this store is going to do well. Right? And then for some of you guys that mentioned regret and confusion can come from two things. One is the lack of direction, and two is too many options. So two opposite things, right? Lack of direction, too many options. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story about confusion, because personally, 6 months ago in my life, I was incredibly confused with what I wanted to do. I had just scaled my agency. I don't like talking about money too much, but I scaled it to, I think it was around 20K a month or so. And honestly, I was really, really confused. I was confused where I wanted to go with this, because this isn't what I wanted to do with my life. This generally wasn't what I wanted to do with my life, and I was confused. And this confusion came from the fact that I didn't have a sense of direction. So if you're confused and you don't have a sense of direction, the only thing I'd say is, you know what you want to do. You know exactly what you want to do. So just go for it. You might mess up. You might not do very well at first, but just go for it. You know what direction you want to take. And then for those of you that have confused because you have too many options, just pick one. Do you really think it's that important on what, it's called a vehicle in like the marketing way? Like, do you think it's important what vehicle you take? Do you think it's important whether you go for SMMA, whether you like do drop shipping, whether you do e-commerce, whether you do Etsy, whether you do like paid ads, whatever it is? Do you think it's really important which one you decide? No, just pick one. Just pick one and go for it. Confusion comes from too many options or not having a direction. And both of these are fixed by you just making one decision and sticking with it in faith, not fear. Faith. And then finally, for those of you that said you feel confused, sorry, not confused, for those of you that said you feel empty and regret, the only thing I'd say to you guys is be grateful. Whatever you're regretting, whatever you've regretted doing, whatever you've had in your life that you guys aren't happy with, be grateful for it as a lesson. Once you come to terms with what you've done and you're able to move on, that's when you can move forward in life. Otherwise, you guys aren't going to gain anything. Otherwise, you're going to stay where you are. It's good that you feel regret if you've done something bad. It means you're a higher caliber of a person, right? Stupid people don't feel regret. They can kill someone and not care. But higher intelligent beings of capacity, they feel regret. So it's okay that you feel regret. but it's not okay that you hold on to it. If you're a religious person, by the way, Capricorn, Bassett, if you're a religious person, God doesn't want you to keep regretting, because he'll forgive you. So how about you move forward in faith and forgive yourself, because you know you'll be forgiven. And then last but not least, Gibson, I saw that you wrote stress. What is the stress from, brother? Do you mind putting in chat what is stressing you? If Gibson is still here. Oh no, he's not here. Never mind. Well, if any of you do feel stress in general, stress isn't real, in my opinion. Like, what are you stressed about? If you're stressed about things, it's because you're looking at things that are out of your control. You have to have this principle in mind, guys. The only thing I can control is my mind. The only thing I can control are my thoughts. If there are things outside of my control here, then I let them go. If you can't control if you can't control, for example, what people are doing, then stop stressing about it. Just stop stressing about it. There's literally no reason for you to stress about it. You can't control it. So if you guys feel stress, understand what's stressing you. Again, every time I talk about, you guys moving forward, you have to understand, you have to diagnose the problem. Understand what's holding you back, and then be like, I'm stressed because my friend is doing this thing. Can I control my friend? No. Then let it go. I'm stressed because my my store isn't converting well. What can I do? Is this in my control? I can change the copy, I can change the audience, I can change this. Okay, let me do those things. Then you won't be stressed because you've done what you can do. So, yeah, if you guys have any more questions, pop them in the chat. I see who's honestly, man, I really hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What books did you read to gain your knowledge? Many, many, many books. I've actually read thousands of books, and I'm quite proud of myself. I went through a phase where I read a book a week. So like in 2 years, I read like 102 books. And then a lot of the other ones I read were very, very small books. And overall, or generally, I think I've read 1,000 books. So yeah, very, very happy with that. And if you're wondering any book specifically I would recommend, what are your thoughts on Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It's okay. It's okay. I actually bought it for my brother for his 18th birthday, because I thought he was ready for his entrepreneurial journey. But it's an okay book, to be honest. Some of the principles are still there, but it doesn't actually teach you how to make money. It teaches you a mindset about not being poor. And the main thing it teaches you is the abundance mindset, which is being abundant in money. And that's a very good mindset, just simply seeing money as abundant. One good principle I'd literally tell you about the book, therefore you don't have to read it, Kaylee, is don't look at something and think, I can't afford this. Think, how can I afford this? So it puts you in a position where you're moving forward rather than limiting yourself. What books would you recommend? You guys won't necessarily have access to this. This is the limited edition that Russell Brunson sent me. If you guys know Russell Brunson, he sent me this book. I'd recommend reading Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is going to teach you all about the mind and how that makes you, rich, basically. When you were reading books, did you write notes and thoughts on separate books? Very good question, Tiardi. Very, very good question. I don't think I have any of my books that I've got notes in here. Yes, I do, actually. Let me get it for you. So I read this book 1.5 years ago, Strategic Selling, right? The new Strategic Selling, sorry, this is the updated version. And here are all the notes I took. So what I did, Tiardi, I usually skim through books. I actually skim through books to get an idea of them. And the way to do that is to read the first paragraph of a chapter and to read the last paragraph of a chapter to understand whether or not it's a good book. And then I read through it the first time, and then the second time I make notes. And the notes, Tiardi, are literally just this. Let me wait for it to focus. Let me block the light slightly. There you go. Summary notes. So you make summary notes based on the chapter you read. And then you also either highlight or mark any points that you think are interesting so you can go back to them. Now, when I'm reading Strategic Selling, let's go to this one. Okay, position is key. So I've noted here that positioning in selling is key. Notice 2 things about these 4 steps of success. First, taken together, they illustrate the importance of constant review or to use a contemporary expression of constant feedback. So constant feedback was a point in there. No, my Wi-Fi is not working. I can't see. Okay, TRD. Basically, I said I make little like chapter, not reviews, chapter summaries. So at the end of each chapter, I make a summary of the book. What books would you recommend to actually make money? Just read Think and Grow Rich. If you don't make money after reading this book, then you're not following what the book is telling you to do. So I've made hundreds of thousands. I've taught people how to make hundreds of thousands, and I've got students that are making hundreds of thousands of pounds simply by reading this book and teaching the principles of the book. So yeah, that's the book I would recommend, Kaylee. How to become more disciplined, mentally and physically. Amazing question. You see, discipline is all about mindset, right? And I love the just doing it and not caring about how you feel. And that's one thing about discipline. That's good. But you guys have to understand what discipline actually is. Discipline isn't just you doing the things you don't feel like doing. It's doing the things you need to do for your purpose. Does that make sense? It's doing the things you need to do for your purpose. Discipline isn't doing things you don't feel like doing. Because I don't feel like jumping off a cliff. I don't feel like, I don't know, going on a 5-hour walk. Should I do that because I don't feel like it? No. Discipline has something to do with your purpose. And you become more disciplined by being aligned with your purpose. So being aligned with your purpose simply means these 3 things. And I always love breaking it into 3 steps. Look, Huz, you have to understand what you want. What is it that you want? Why do you want it? And how are you going to get it? What do I want? Why do I want it? How am I going to get it? When you look at how am I going to get it, that's where your discipline comes in. If you're what I want and why I want strong enough, if these 2 things are ingrained in your mind, right, which is all about mindset. It's all about mindset. If these 2 things are ingrained in your mind, then guess what, brother? The how becomes so easy. You don't need discipline. Do you think I use discipline? Brother, I love doing what I do. I'm motivated every single second of the day. I don't even need discipline. I don't need it. Because my what I want and my why I want it are strong enough. So how to become more disciplined? I'd say if I would make it an action step for you, brother, and let me just message you now. Look at your what, then your why. And this goes for everyone, by the way. Look at what you want, then look at your why, then focus on the how. That's where you need to be disciplined. I'm going to give you guys a quick example. That way it kind of makes more sense. Oh, let me go back to the call. Sorry about that. Okay. So what this looks like is if you had your goal to make £10,000 a month, and your why for that is because I want to retire my mum. It's because I want to be able to just have her live comfortably. You know, I've seen my whole life her stress about what she can buy, what she can't buy, the work she has to do, etc., etc. So I want to retire my mum. That's my why. I want to make £10,000 a month, and I want to retire my mum. How do I need to do that? Literally £10,000 a month, if you guys haven't made it yet, is the simplest thing ever. It's just having discipline on the actions that you need to take, and then being good at sales, and then you make £10,000 a month. So how do I need to do that? One is become good at sales. So I need discipline when it comes to learning sales, when it comes to improving my tonality, when it comes to improving my voice, right? I need those 3 things. So sales skills, tonality, voice. Also, what do I need to do? I need to outreach to certain businesses. Okay, I need to outreach to certain businesses. Oh, that's so hard. Do I want to retire my mum? Yes. Do I have to outreach? Yes. Okay, I'm going to do it. Do you see what I mean when I say discipline doesn't become a thing anymore? You're just motivated. It becomes a choice of, do I retire my mum or do I not? That's it. That's why your why is very important in this case. Do I retire my mum or do I not? That's simple. Okay. So, how to become more disciplined? I'd say have a strong why and have a strong what. And then just always give yourself the choice. As I said to TRD at the start on procrastination, just give yourself the choice. Do I choose what I want, the £10,000 a month and retiring my mum, or do I choose to stay where I am? Then it becomes quite easy. If you guys have any more questions, put them in the chat. And if you guys want the action step on that one is look at your what. What is my goal, whether it be financial or not financial? What is my goal? Why do I want that goal? And then how am I going to get to it? And then when you look at the how, right, the how is going to be where you need the discipline. So that's how you become more disciplined. Okay. If you guys haven't got anything, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to look at the next question that me and Amin collected. What are effective strategies for managing stress and anxiety? Okay. What are effective strategies for managing stress and anxiety? Two things. Both aren't real. Therefore, both need to be accepted. I know that sounds a bit confusing, but both aren't real. Anxiety, for example, isn't real. Anxiety is fear of the future. Is the future real? No. The future literally doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is now. The only thing that exists is what's happening right now. The only thing that exists in you guys' life is us being in this call together. That's it. Maybe you have like some background noise. Maybe your friend is talking. Maybe your sister, your siblings, your parents, etc., etc. And that's part of your present moment. But other than that, nothing exists. Stress comes from you fearing or being anxious about the future and trying to control the future. That's the difference. Anxiety is just fear of the future or fear of the past. And then stress is attempt to control those things in the future or in the past. Both can be gotten rid of if you understand that they literally don't exist. What in your life, and I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds. I know this is going to be a bit awkward because I'm not going to like speak or anything like that for 30 seconds a minute. But just take a second. Reflect right now in this exact moment. What is there that's going on in your life? What is it that's going on that's stressful and that's bringing you anxiety? Right this instant, whether you're on your laptop, on your PC, or on your phone, there is nothing in your life right now that is stressful. Nothing that should bring you anxiety. Because right this instant, all you're doing is just listening to me speak. So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds of absolute silence. Again, it wouldn't be a mindset or mental health call without this. So just take 30 seconds. Just reflect. Right now, what is there? You don't have to type it out, Kaylee. That's absolutely fine. You can just keep it to yourself. If you want to type it out, you can do. But what is there right now in your life that's either bringing anxiety or bringing stress? The answer is nothing, but I just want you to reflect on that for a second. Again, I'll give you guys 30 seconds. You're not in school though, are you, TRD? You're on a call with me right now. So how is school? You're not in school. No, overall doesn't matter. The overall doesn't exist right now. The only thing that currently exists is the moment that you're in right now. That's the only thing that matters. The moment that you're in right now is the only moment that you're existing. You don't exist in the future, you don't exist in the past. The only thing that matters right now is your present moment. So again, just reflect what is happening right now in your life. Kaylee, are they currently, right this second, divorcing? Or are they each doing a separate thing? Are they each chilling? Are they each doing their own thing right now? Or are they currently shouting and arguing and creating that stress for you? My guess is that they're both doing their separate thing. Maybe the divorce is going on overall. Same thing in TRD's case. Maybe school is going on overall. But they're each doing their separate thing. TRD, I'm guessing you're at home, brother. TRD's at home. He's not in school. Kaylee, you're not with your parents who are arguing right now. They're separate. Do you guys see what I mean? I hope the rest of you are reflected as well. Stress and anxiety comes from scenarios that aren't real. In TRD's case, maybe school is stressful because he looks over the big picture and he thinks, school, I've got exams, school, I've got, this, I've got the time it takes during my day, so I can't spend my time being an entrepreneur, etc., etc. Brother, break it down to what's actually in your control. What's important to you and what's in your control? And then do the things that are in your control. If you're stressing or anxious about the future, again, the future doesn't exist. How can you be stressed about something that literally doesn't exist? How stupid do you think that is? You see, we didn't have this issue back in the day, obviously, because people had to survive day to day. But you're stressed and anxious about something that doesn't exist. It's in the future. And if you're basing your future based on your past, that's equally stupid. Because TRD, you have the capacity to grow and to improve. That's what's within your control. So your future will probably be better than your past. So how about you just focus on the now? The fact that you're on this call. So what can you do right now? Not what can you do tomorrow. What can you do right now? And Kaylee, I understand, because my parents are divorced as well, I understand that it's stressful overall in the big picture, right? And it makes you anxious of the future. But you have no idea of the future. Like I said, it doesn't exist. And this thing's out of your control. Unless you're the direct reason your parents divorced. But again, that's that's not my area of expertise, right? But I'm sure you're not the reason. I'm sure you're not the reason. You can't stress about something that's out of your control because you're creating that stress for yourself. Remember, guys, the only thing you can control is your mind, your thoughts. If you're creating the thoughts that bring the stress to you, then you're creating the stress, not your environment. Your environment doesn't care who you are, it doesn't care what you're doing, it doesn't care why you're there, but you care. So focus on the one thing that you control, which is your mind, your thoughts. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Just write a quick yes or a 1, otherwise I can go deeper into it. Good. I was in the same boat as you, by the way, TRD. Like, school was incredibly stressful for me. Until I kind of stepped back for a second. I was like, hold on a second. Like, what's stressful about school? My grades. I'm not doing very well at school. Okay, what can I do? Revise. Do I want to revise? No, I think it's boring. Do I have to revise? Yes. Why do I have to revise? Because if I don't do well at school, then I can't do what I want to do in life. Okay. Would you rather fail at life or do well at school? I'd rather do well at school. Okay, so revise. That's it. Once I realized that, I was like, okay, well, that's not too stressful. If all I have to do is revise, and that's within my control, that's the only thing within my control. If it comes to the exam and I absolutely bottle it, right? If I absolutely mess it up, that's out of my control. But if I've done my best, if I've revised as much as I can do, if I've done my best, then why would I feel stressed? Why would I feel stressed? If you guys have any more questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll look at another question that Amy, the CEO, has collected. But go ahead. Do you think you need school to become an entrepreneur? And if yes, what aspect? Okay, good question. Good question. Okay, I'll answer that very quickly, Kaylee. School is useful. Oh no! I know it's not a very popular opinion, but school is useful. The principles you guys learn at school, you can actually put into your entrepreneurial journey. Like, for example, you might think biology is useless. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to do medicine, etc., etc. But if you understand the principles of, let's say, evolution, like how things adapt to their environment, then guess what? Business is an environment. The market is the environment to your business. So how are you going to adapt to the environment? So you start testing things out. Whatever survives, you create more of. You reproduce that thing. So yes, Kaylee, I think school has a lot of aspects that are positive, especially the principles that you learn in the lessons. But the most important thing about school, I think, is for you to build your confidence and to understand people. School is the one environment where you have the largest mix of people for you to learn how to deal with. You'll learn how to deal with people who are annoying. You'll learn how to deal with people who are kind. You'll learn how to motivate people. You learn how to manipulate people. You learn how to be kind to people, etc., etc. So yes, school as an environment is very, very useful in your entrepreneurial journey. What about public speaking in school? Like presentations and stuff are kind of scary. I mean, you have to look at why they're scary, Atara. Are they scary because you think people will judge you? Why do you think people will judge you? Is it because you judge people when they mess up? Is it because you do certain things? Most of our judgments come from the fact that we judge people. I think people who have blue hair are ugly and annoying. That means I will never dye my hair blue. Because if I dye my hair blue, then I'll start thinking that people will think I'm annoying and ugly. Does that make sense? So my judgments go on to other people. And then I think other people will have the same judgments of me. Atara, are you scared of being rejected? Because rejection is part of everyday life. Rejection is normal. You just have to move on from rejection. There's a difference between someone who moves on and someone who stays with it. And that's where you choose. Presentations were my favorite. Because I had my first presentation when I was 12 years old and I cried in front of everyone. But then I had my other presentation a week later. I improved slightly, etc., etc. And now here I am speaking to you guys, even though you're only 10 people. I've spoken in front of thousands last year for mental health and mindset. And that all started from me crying. Being screamed at by my parents for bad grades is more stressful than school. That's fair enough, Dom. I mean, I have Arab parents, so I don't look Arab, but I've got Arab parents. And, brother, I get screamed at all the time, right? You have to understand, like, is it you getting the bad grades that is making them scream at you? Or is it the fact that you're lazy and you don't do any work? Right? Is it the fact that you're lazy and you don't do any work? So explain to that really quickly, Dom. Just type lazy, don't do any work, or is it because of the grades being bad? It can be both, of course, but you have to understand this really quickly because this is a principle I'm going to teach you guys again about stress. If I learn, it's a very last moment. Well, there you go, Dom. So you guys, not to like embarrass you in front of everyone, Dom, don't worry. But Dom isn't holding himself responsible. He's getting mad at his parents for shouting at him because he's not doing all the hard work. That's why he's getting bad grades. So Dom, you've given up your responsibility for yourself. And the consequence of that is your parents shouting at you. So what's within your control? Maybe they'll still shout at you after you get good grades. Probably not. But what is within your control, Dom, is for you to work harder and to work better and to work smarter. So that's it, brother. Like, I know it's a bit harsh, but that's it. If I told them that I would want to be an entrepreneur, I can't even expect what they would do. Well, look, Dom, again, you haven't proven yourself to be capable of anything right now. I know I'm being harsh, but you have to hear this. And a lot of you guys might be the same. People don't believe in you because they have no reason to believe in you. So prove that you are capable, and then they'll trust you. Prove that you can get good grades. Prove that you can work hard, and then they'll trust you. That's it. That's literally it. That is literally it. Kaylee, you are right. School could also be your marketing, like selling candy. Okay, pop any more questions you guys have in the chat. Go ahead, pop any more questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to quickly answer one of these that Amin has, which is very, very good. What daily habits can help improve my overall mental well-being? Keep typing questions in the chat. I'm just going to focus on this. Daily habits. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but your habits make who you are. Your habits decide who you are. Okay? So, a principle I want you guys to understand is your habits that you have every day will create the person that you are. Okay? So what you want to do is have habits that are conducive, that, illustrate, that show the person that you want to be. Okay? So creating habits that are good for your mental health, there's literally 3 principles. 1 is go outside. 2 is exercise. And then 3 is be grateful. Everyone has something to be grateful. Everyone has the opportunity to go outside. Everyone has the opportunity to exercise. So guess what? You can have amazing mental health. That's all you have to do. Go outside. Be in nature. Even if it means not doing as much work as you'd like to do. Go outside, exercise, and then be grateful. So daily habits would be 20 to 30-minute walk when it comes to being outside. And I would say exercise would be going to the gym 2 to 4 times a week. You can go more, obviously, if you wanted to build muscle. I'm huge, but I only go 4 times a week. Bye, Tara. Take care of yourself. And then being grateful would be listing 3 things in the morning that you're grateful for in your life. That's it. List 3 things in your life that you're grateful for. It's that simple. It's that simple. Those are the daily habits. 20 to 30-minute walk every day. Exercise 2 to 4 times per week, whether it be the gym, running, or whatever. And then be grateful. List 3 things every day in the morning of what you're grateful for. Katie, why are you laughing? I'm a very modest guy. You're not going to be able to see my huge bulging muscles. I have to keep my neck at this level, otherwise my shirt just explodes and everyone can't focus. What if everything is falling apart despite trying your very best? What if everyone is against you because you come from that kind of background? How do I tackle these situations? Okay, look, Zarif, you're going to have to be very, very transparent with us and not put on this like victim mentality, brother, okay? Just be honest with us. What is falling apart and how are you trying your best? So just give me 2 things. How is everything falling apart and how are you trying your best? If you don't want to put it in chat, please message me and I can like make it kind of general. But how is everything falling apart and how are you trying your best? Because I've heard similar things before and I've always come back to the same outcome. So I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and see what we can do. In the meantime, I am going to explain a principle again for you, Zaraf, because if you've written out that message is that you don't understand your principle. Belief. Oh, I've got to plug in my PC in a second, guys. Sorry. Belief. Your belief creates your thoughts. Your thoughts create your actions. Your actions create your reality. It looks a bit like this. Beliefs create your thoughts. Your thoughts create your actions, and your actions obviously create your reality, right? So you have to understand this. What beliefs do I have? Zaraf, you believe everything is falling apart. You believe everyone is against you, and you believe it's because of your background. These thoughts are going to harbor negative thoughts about people against you. They're going to harbor negative thoughts about yourself. They're going to harbor negative thoughts about your background. Your actions are going to be conducive of those thoughts. Your actions are going to be of someone who is being fought against. Your actions are going to be of someone who is lacking opportunities. Your actions are going to be of someone who isn't trying their best, because who can try their best if the world is against them? No one. Guess what your reality is going to be? Your reality is going to be that everything is falling apart. Your reality is going to be that everyone is against you, and your reality is going to be it's because of your background. You create your reality. Everyone. This is to everyone. You create your reality. Your life is the way it is because of you, not because of your circumstances. You are not a victim of the circumstances. You are the victim of yourself. You have made your current life. You have made your current life, Zarif. Wherever your life is, you have made it. You have made it. Because the circumstances might be negative, but your life doesn't have to be negative. I've lived in council estates. I don't know if you guys aren't in the UK. Council estates, basically like homes for poor people, I guess. Like they're homes that the government gives you to live in. They're usually like big horrible buildings, like blocks with people, etc. Like everyone's got a shared kitchen. There's only one room, like one bathroom for like 5 people. Guess what? Even when I was in that situation, I believed that I didn't deserve this. I believed that I was given this as a test. I believed there was something positive about this. I believed that this environment would mean nothing to me and I would still do well. Here I am today. Alhamdulillah, thank God. Everything is going well. Starts with belief. I see you typing, Zarif. I'll give you 30 seconds before I continue talking. Sorry, guys, I keep looking out my window because my friend said he's having to come to mine for some reason. So I think it's because of we've got like a networking meeting at 6 o'clock. But yeah, go ahead, Zarif. Hope everyone's doing well, by the way. Hope you're enjoying the Q&A so far. Quite happy that all 7 of you have stayed consistently. TRD, SD, Zaraf, Huz, Gustavo, Kaylee, Dom. I completely agree with you. You have no idea how much harsh I go on myself. I give no excuses and always prefer discipline, but sometimes I feel like I am done with this bullshit. Okay. Let me break that down in 2 things. You have no idea how harsh I go on myself. Okay, Zarif, first of all, being harsh on yourself is absolutely stupid, right? Treat yourself as your own best friend. I'm sure you've heard this before. But if your best friend woke up late to go to work, you wouldn't go, "You absolute moron, you idiot, just get out of bed." No, you'd go, "Buddy, you got out of bed late this morning. You didn't do any work. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. Let's make sure you do well tomorrow." And then you support him. Do you think that guy's going to stay friends with you if you shouted at him every day and hurled abuse at him and told him you're a twat, told him you're an idiot for doing those things? No. He's not going to stay friends with you. Why do you expect yourself to stay positive about yourself if all you do is do negative self-talk? Self-talk is the only talk. Zarif, if you believe negative things about yourself, you will bring those things to life. I tell myself I'm going to succeed no matter what. I tell myself it doesn't matter what I do. If I do it in faith, then I'll succeed. So Zarif, the only self-talk that matters is the talk that you have. So brother, message me after this call. I'm going to talk to you privately about a couple of things so we can fix this issue. Because this is a cycle you're going to create for yourself and you will destroy your life. In a year's time, you will be depressed and anxious all the time. So message me later, Zarif, and we'll talk about it, okay? TRD, amazing question. I want to replace my YouTube scrolling habits with reading books and I'm struggling. Okay, again, brother, this goes back to the procrastination thing. Give yourself a reward for reading a book. Give yourself a reward for reading a book. And punish yourself for scrolling on YouTube. Not punish yourself like whip yourself or like punch yourself or something. But delete YouTube. Delete it. That's your punishment. Deleting YouTube. Not being able to watch a single YouTube video for a day. Like, nope. Sorry, TRD. You watched a YouTube video today. I'm going to not let you watch another one for the rest of the day unless you read 10 pages of a book. Unless you read 5 pages of a book. So if you can see what I did there, TRD, is you make it very easy for yourself to pick up the book. I've read this book like 10 times. When I first started reading Think and Grow Rich, although I didn't have this edition specifically, I'd say to myself, you know what? I'm going to read 5 pages today. After I've read 5 pages, I keep reading, obviously because I'm enjoying reading it at this point. Keep reading. And then I remember I started at page, I think it was 10, after like the whole introduction stuff. And by the end, I finished at page 70. So that was like an hour and a half of reading. I was like, whoa, I just read 60 pages. I didn't even realize. And then I tapped myself on the back. Next time I would have given myself a reward properly. But you start habits by starting small, TRD. And it's easier to get rid of habits than to replace them with good ones. So if you just stop watching YouTube, you'll find yourself bored and wanting to do something. And you can be like, what can I do? Okay, I'll just read a book. Does that make sense? So you can replace those habits. But you have to get rid of them first. Don't even think about doing something else instead. Just think about doing something else instead. No, sorry. Just think about stopping it, and then you can think about doing something else instead. Right? When you're bored, stay bored. Stay bored long enough for you to do what you actually want to do rather than what your dopamine and your brain wants you to do. Okay? You can listen to music if you're like Dom. Otherwise, if that makes sense, TRD, I'll make it really actionable. I'll make it really simple for you. Let's say you opened up YouTube. I have YouTube on my phone, not because I watch it, because I have a YouTube channel and I upload stuff on my phone sometimes. Let's go on YouTube, right? Just so you can follow me with this. I've just opened up YouTube. I see recommended videos. I'm swiping a bit. Like you can see, I'm swiping a bit to see what video I might like. Can't find anything. Let me just go on Shorts.
Test your might.
Oh, no. You get my point. You're now on Shorts and you keep watching. Before you even get to that point, just pause. Just pause and think, I shouldn't be doing this. And then maybe you'll sit there for a second and feel weird about yourself. But if you just put your phone down, it's harder to pick it back up now that you've put it down. It's harder to pick it back up. So just put your phone down and then think, should I go pick up a book? Yes or no? And that's it, brother. That's it. I replaced TikTok with this, but now I'm struggling to replace the YouTube. Again, TRD, if we go back to the whole procrastination thing, you have to give yourself the why at the end of the day. Guys, if you can take one thing away from this, is you have to control your thoughts and give yourself a reason why. If you don't have a reason why, you're not going to do anything. So TRD, if you don't mind sharing, what's your thought process when you're watching YouTube? I'm expecting two different answers. I hear two of them quite a lot. So just give me your thought process when you're watching YouTube, TRD. Okay, well, that sounds a bit like a cope, to be honest, TRD. You're coping. You're not educating yourself. Because education is implementation. Education isn't acquiring knowledge. Education is implementation. If you can't implement the things you're learning, then you're not educating yourself. That's it. It's that simple. If you are implementing them, then sure. But would you rather educate yourself on YouTube? Or do you think educating yourself via a book would be more beneficial? That's what I was trying to understand, TRD. Which is more beneficial? Just think about it rationally. Just get rid of your ego, your emotions, who want to be on YouTube because YouTube is easy. You just consume. Would I rather educate myself for good and actually implement the things I'm learning and succeed? And then if you link that to your why, so I can retire my mum, for example, or would I rather just continue watching YouTube and not do anything with my life? Stay broke. Stay sad. Feel guilty after I finish watching YouTube. And that goes for other bad habits as well, guys. Give yourself the choice. Would I rather be the sad person that still watches porn? Or would I rather succeed and make £1 million? It might sound ridiculous when you put it that way, but it's that simple. Give yourself the choice. And moving forward becomes a lot easier. And you can become a lot more rational when you do that as well. So again, TRD, just to reiterate my points earlier, if you look at what you're doing, so you acknowledge what you're doing, and then from there, you can give yourself, why am I doing it? Right? And then once you realize why you're doing it, you can stop. Why am I on YouTube right now? It's to educate myself. Yeah, sure. What could I be doing to educate myself properly? Reading a book. Let me go do that. And although it might be harder than easier said than done, sometimes all it takes is for you to put your phone down if you're on your phone. Once your phone is down, it becomes a lot easier, right? Before I do work, and let's say I have my phone on my desk, I'll just chuck it on my bed. Because it's a lot harder to go back to my bed and pick it up than it is to just be at my desk and do work. So, I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope that was helpful in terms of the call. TRD, like I said, I don't know how long Emin usually does these for, how long the CEO does these for. But I reckon this is quite a good place to stop. We've only got 4 people: Dom, Kaylee, Gustav, Isaac Digits, and TRD the GOAT, who's been with me since the setup. We'll end it here. If you guys have any more small questions you want to ask TRD, if you've got anything you want to add to that, or if that makes sense to you, then let me know. And if any of you want to message me about anything that we've spoken about today, then feel free to. Kaylee, I will remember to message you what I messaged. Who was it earlier that I messaged? Can't remember. But I did message them about figuring out how to do discipline properly. So I'll message you about that as well, Kaylee. So go ahead. Awesome. I'm glad it was perfect. I'm perfect, TRD. That's why. Joking. Even though Kaylee was making fun of me for saying I'm huge. No worries, brother. No worries. I enjoyed the Q&A call today. It was very, very fun, to be honest. Very happy. I think we had how many people in total at some point? 10? Woo! 10 people coming in to listen to me. That's amazing. Obviously, I've had thousands, but 10 is not that bad. No, but I'm very, very grateful for you guys being here. Very, very grateful. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely rest of the evening, rest of the day, whatever you guys are doing. Again, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to message me. I don't mind at all. God bless you all. Take care of yourself. I'm going to go now to the dinner thing that I've got with my friend who's just chilling right there. But sorry about that as well, guys. I do apologize if I was a bit unprofessional with picking up the calls. I hope I was able to be useful to you guys in some way. Anyways, take care. God bless you all. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.